so much for joining us today, everyone. This is our normal Monday morning where we get an opportunity to interview some of the best of the best. Some of the folks that in EXP, they're really leaning into agent attraction and making a difference in their world with agent attraction. And I just want to remind you, we have the 4 masterminds each week, Monday through Thursday, and the third Thursday of the month is our happy hour, which is just a blast. But I want to welcome today the top guy, Joshua Smith. He is absolutely an amazing force in this industry, and we are honored to have him on today. So welcome, Joshua. Do you go by Josh or Joshua?
Either one's good. Whatever rolls off the tongue the easiest.
Exactly. Well, let me give you just a bit about his background, and then Josh, I'm going to have you just fill in the details, okay?
Okay.
He is a realtor in Phoenix, a serial entrepreneur, been in real estate since 2005, and joined EXP pretty recently. I have about December of 2024. Is that pretty close?
Yeah, I was at very end of December, so kind of got started January 1st. So it's been about 15 months.
Okay, in 15 months, what Joshua has done is he's added 46, and you can correct me on the numbers because these are the end of the last month, 46 FLQAs, 140 FLAs, 437 total in his team. He's in the top 100. Am I close on the numbers?
Um, so 586 total, 199 FLA. And the reason that the numbers are such a big discrepancy is co-sponsorship
Okay.
doesn't show in the app. So we've got to track it on a separate spreadsheet, which I can definitely go into today. Leveraging co-sponsorship, because I'm pretty sure that this year, by the end of this year, my co-sponsor line will outpace my regular direct line. So yeah, as of right now, 586 total, 199 FLA, 46 FLQA.
Beautiful. A beautiful momentum. And not only does he have that momentum in his agent attraction, he's got it in real estate too. In 2023, 297 closings, finalist for NAR 30 under 30 and Wall Street Journal's 30th top realtor in the US. Sells more than one home daily. Owns and operates the #1 podcast in the industry, GSD Mode. And I'm going to let you tell us what GSD is.
Yeah, so I mean, it stands for get shit done. Just a motto
This
that
meeting is
my
being
team and I have
recorded.
operated by through this whole journey.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He coaches and mentors 1,000 realtors yearly through the US and Canada. He is shifting from that traditional team model to a coaching and collaboration focused approach, really designed to empower agents to scale their businesses and creating a lasting impact. His personal goal is to impact 40,000 agents and team leaders, and it truly aligns with what we're doing here at EXP. And when Joshua came into EXP, Leo Pereira said, Joshua's vision, drive, and passion for empowering agents embody everything EXP stands for. His ability to inspire others while achieving record-breaking success makes him a perfect fit for our global network. We're thrilled to support him as he builds a legacy of growth, mentorship, and innovation. You are on the fast track for that. So welcome to our Freedom Team call. We are excited to talk to you today.
Yeah,
Now,
no,
what did I miss in that introduction? Because
no,
that's
I
pretty
mean,
glowing.
appreciate the intro and all the kind words, and it means a lot. I'm honored to be here and excited to jump in and support in any way that I can.
Thank you. Thank you. We are so grateful to have you here. So let's go back just 15 months ago. How were you approached by EXP? You know, a lot of people were knocking at your doors. How were you approached and how did you decide to come in?
Yeah, so I've had awareness of EXP for about 10 years, and I was probably the biggest hater of EXP that exists. I think I probably talk more smack about this company than anybody I've ever known. But it was, I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. I honestly thought it was the Amway of real estate. I'm originally from Michigan, grew up right next to Amway, and a lot of friends, family members that were part of Amway. And nothing's wrong with Amway. They're a brilliant company. But at the time, my knowledge base was, oh, Amway was a scam. So I thought this was just a scam. Never took the time to really glance at it, look at it, just dismissed it. They were a competitor. Um, but then, had just, there's two things that took place. So before I joined EXP, I had partnered with a friend of mine that we started a nationwide franchising firm. So we're the franchisor. So we launched 105 brokerage locations throughout the US. And going down that path, I learned a lot. Like number one, okay, we started that model probably 20 years late. The franchising model's dying, but we had some uniqueness. We were the first ever virtual, where you didn't have to have local bricks and mortar. You could start at $500 for a buy-in, get two agents, be profitable. So there's some things that we did right that really helped us accelerate during the kind of the COVID era. But what I discovered during that, it's hard to sell them when you're asking somebody to have a $25,000 upfront investment. But then from there, it's way much harder to get them to renew after the 5-year renewal term. It's like they're a team of 5 agents. They want to start their own brokerage. Okay, they come on, you get them, you help them scale to 200 agents. Now they're paying 15 grand a month in royalties. They don't feel like they need you, and they probably don't need you at that point. So there was definitely some resistance with that model, which, hey, I'm okay with resistance and figuring that out. But with all the NAR class action lawsuit settlement, that was a big eye opener for me.
Yeah.
Some of the things that you guys may not have awareness of, but there was a lot of indie brokerages that were unable to survive that. I'll just give an example. Two of my long-term good friends, these were two buddies just right out of high school that bootstrapped the brokerage. Um, they did very well with it. For 20 years, they built a brokerage of about 2,300 agents. They got hit with a $17 million class action lawsuit for nothing they did wrong, nothing their agents did wrong. They were forced to sell because there's no filing BK to restructure to get out of this. And I looked at that and I'm like, man, I'm in my early 40s now. If we get hit with something like this, knowing that we're in, at least for the next decade or so, with this lawsuit era, it's going to wipe us out because we were bootstrapped as well. And I'm like, hey, man, if it was 20 years earlier, cool. I'm cool with making it, losing everything, restarting. But I'm like, I've already done that a few rounds in my life. So I'm like, okay, we're up against three primary things. The economic changes. And this isn't just this one temporary recession with the deglobalization that we're seeing with the debt crisis. Like this is going to be some economic factors taking place that none of us have ever experienced in any of our lifetimes. And really, we probably haven't seen since the collapse of the Roman Empire, as the different moves that are taking place. So I'm like, okay, we look at the economic, instability that we're up against globally. We look at, okay, the lawsuit era that we're going to be in. The buy side lawsuits are taking place, and we got the RESPA lawsuits, the referral lawsuits. The DOJ has been very vocal that they're not okay with the previous lawsuit settlement, so they're going to reopen in 5 years. So I'm like, okay, we got to have navigate that headwind plus the AI, kind of tech AI headwind that we have to navigate. So then I just had to be really honest with myself of, okay, do I believe that on my own we can navigate through this? Or would it make more sense for me to still accomplish my goal? Because my goal was, for the longest time, has been to build a 40,000 agent international organization. So I'm like, I can either do this on my own, or I can maybe find a company that I can partner with that, I have a better chance at making my goals a reality. So for the first time, it had me actually looking at EXP and Real and some of these other options. EXP became very evident and obvious that it was the only choice for me. But I didn't have anybody recruit me to EXP. It was just through understanding the headwinds that we're going to be up against for the next several decades. And I needed to pick a winning team, a platform to build what I want to build within. And after about a year's worth of research, it became very evident and obvious that EXP was the winning team to be on, the jersey I needed to wear to go out there and accomplish my goals.
And why was that, Joshua? Why EXP over all of the choices you could have made?
Okay, financial stability. So if you look at EXP, 100% debt free, at least at the time, they had about 300 million liquid USD in the bank. At the time, only publicly traded real estate company to have 16 straight quarters of profitability. So they're by far in the best financial position of any, company that I did my due diligence on or really looked into, and which was pretty much all the big players. Then interviewing their leadership team. Now I'm a little bit biased because Leo's been one of my closest friends since about 2012. But when I'm interviewing the leadership team of all these different organizations, it became very clear to me that they all had the same shared vision. Their energy, their vision, the mission. It just leadership team stood out at a mass front. The fact that they're in 29 countries, like, all right, okay, I've already got the global playground to plug into. And then from there, just things like, okay, how the rev share was structured. Like I'm looking at Real very heavily as well because I didn't care what jersey I wore. It didn't matter to me if it was Real or EXP or, but at Real when I'm talking to them, okay, Josh, you can't. Number one, you got to stay in production to get your rev share. Well, I haven't sold a home in over 12 years. It's like I'm not here to get back into transactional real estate, right? Number two, they're like, well, you can't offer any of your coaching to any of your agents. You either have to offer the whole company or to nobody. I'm like, well, that just strips away my whole entire USP. So we're going to have a big capacity. If I can't differentiate myself as to why somebody should partner with me at EXP versus all the other amazing builders at EXP, so there was some big issues there that I had, that blocked growth and scale. And then from there, if we just look at this, I'm like, okay, well, if because my whole point of joining EXP is to build a brokerage inside of a brokerage. I have zero intent, zero plans of ever selling a house again for the rest of my life. So I'm just here to maximize rev share. Okay, well, who's the top rev share earner at any of these other platforms versus the top rev share earners at EXP? And there was just no comparison.
Right. And with that personal relationship that you have with Leo, and now you've probably met quite a bit of the other leadership at EXP, what is your take on the vision and the direction and where EXP is going for all of these folks on here that probably have not had that personal connection?
Yeah, so first off, I mean, Leo is the most brilliant man I've ever met, brilliant human being I've ever met, I should say, in real estate. So we met, we both won, I don't know, the 30 under 30 NARS 30, where they celebrate the top 30 agents under the age of 30 in the country. And we met up in Chicago at NAR, and we just clicked because we are both running large teams. We're both really involved in REO at that time. And just built a long relationship. And okay, I watched Leo build the number one Keller Williams team in the world, sell that for a big exit, build the number one private lending practice in the East Coast, sell that for a great exit, then build Remine, which, that was a 9+ figure exit, so he's always been, for the circles at least that I've ran in, which has always been trying to be with the top in the industry, he's always been like 10 steps ahead of all of us, so now there's other people I haven't met in real estate. I haven't yet had the opportunity to meet Glenn Sanford. So I don't want to say that Leo, I would say that Leo's more intelligent than Glenn. I haven't met Glenn yet, but yeah, I mean, so I'm having a conversation with Leo before I make this move, and I'm like, he's telling me, hey man, I'm going to 500,000 agents at EXP before my run of CEO is over. And I'm like, hey Leo, you've never not done one thing you told me you were going to do, so I believe you. I just don't see the path, dude. Like KW, biggest juggernaut to ever exist, capped out 187,000 agents before they started losing market share. And he looks at me and he says to me, he goes, hey, dude, we're going to 100 countries for the next 10 years. There's 16 million licensees that we have awareness of. There's countries like France where you don't have to be licensed. He's like, that's how we get to 500,000, and seeing the, focus and intention and drive for international, plus to make it obviously continuing to improve domestically. The vision's there and the path is there. So it's part of my path too. I asked Leo, I said, all right, dude, I want to go to 40,000 in 10 years. Knowing what what would you recommend that I do? Right? He's like, okay, number one, you need to find 40 generals because it's not about trying to recruit 40,000 agents. You need to find 40 driven running partners that have the desire, the capacity to become alphas in this company. Your job is to find them and help develop and build them. Then from there, he's like, international, have a big focus also on international because the global play is big, so it's been those kind of two plays have been what I've really been focused on. I've never been the smart guy that figures things out on my own. I've been the guy that goes find the mentors, the people much smarter than me, reverse engineer the roadmap, and I'm a good executor on the blueprint, so whatever once I have that strategy plan, then I just go. So, in this 15 months, I mean, I'm in 10 countries now. Most of it's still here in North America, US and Canada, but putting that big focus on those strategic countries that makes sense. So, and then just seeing, first thing, like when I plugged into this company, I was just blown away. I mean, I've never seen support like at a company like this. I've been doing this 21 years. I've sold 7,000 plus homes, been with other brokerages. And I mean, even with my own companies, I was like, dude, nothing compares to, what we have here. So just, it just reinforces when you have a leadership team that's as hungry as you. Like anytime I need something from the leadership team, dude, they are so plugged in. They're so on top of it. And it's the first company I've ever been with where like I've never had anybody been a part of a company where I felt like anybody within the company outside of my own staff was operating at my speed. Here I feel like, hey man, everybody's hungry, everybody's synergistic. It's just been mind blowing.
Yes, it is. It's such a collaborative world where it doesn't matter where you're connected in, there's connection there. And for you in the agent attraction world, what has worked for you?
Yeah, so this is a great question. So, if you think about this, okay, we're either recruiting buyers, recruiting sellers, or we're recruiting agents. It's all the same process. So it's okay. Like identify, get very clear on who your ideal client is. Okay, then based on that ideal client, what's the best strategy that we're going to go execute on? Then we just schedule it, develop the KPIs that we need to develop, and you have that plan because it's like, okay, you're lead generating. You're following up those leads, you're converting those leads to appointments, you're conducting the appointments. They either sign or they don't sign. Then you have a nurture campaign based on that. So for me, and this did take a little while because I mean, I've been recruiting agents for 20 some years, and whether it be to my coaching company, my real estate team, but this model is a little bit different. So it took a few months for me to kind of crack the code a little bit on this, at least for me. So I have four different ideal clients that I go after. And remember before when I said, okay, I got to identify. So I look at this, okay, I need my soldiers and I need my generals. My generals are my future beta alphas. My soldiers are the 88% of this company that doesn't participate in rev share. They're just here to become icons and go out there and produce. So I spend about 50% of my time going after soldiers because those are going to be the highest percentage of our rev share downline. And look, if we don't have revenue, there's no revenue, there's nothing to be shared. So we need that. I don't get frustrated that 88% agents that we bring on just could care less about rev share, even though as much as I would like to see them focus on it, not for me, but I just know what it's like to have to wake up every single month for 20 years straight selling real estate where you have to restart over every single month. And there becomes a point in time in our careers where that gets tiresome. And so I want to see everybody build up because the only way to have freedom, time freedom, financial freedom, location freedom is passive income. And rev share is the best vehicle I've ever seen. Like go try to invest in real estate and build passive income in the same amount of speed that you can with rev share. It's not a possibility. But okay, the numbers are the numbers. It's just how it's going to shake out. So I spend 50% of my time going after soldiers, 50% of my time with generals. So my soldiers, who am I going after there? And then I just started looking at, and again, this took a little bit of time for me to figure out, but okay, where do we have the least path of resistance? Like, who is this model best for? Okay, so I go after individual agents doing 20 plus transactions a year that are with legacy brokerages. So like your Keller Williams, your Remax, Century 21, Coldwell Banker, Sotheby's, like all the big names that we've all heard of forever out there. Why do I go after them? Okay, pretty much in every single recruiting situation, I can articulate to them that you're going to save 15 grand a year plus by being here. You're going to have superior tools, system support, coaching, mentorship. Now you also have these two wealth building vehicles that you didn't have before through rev share and stock. Like it's a no brainer, so, the math adds up, everything adds up. So again, least path of resistance plus, okay, we're able to plug them in. They're quick cappers. Like they don't need to be babysat. They just need, like anybody that's doing 20 deals a year as an individual agent in this market, I can quickly, easily get them to doing 40 plus. Like they already have shown that they have the work ethic, for this. So that's ideal avatar number one. And I'll go through strategies that I do for these because I have two primary strategies, but they're different for each, right? So then from their team leaders, why is this such a great model for team leaders? Just for running a team for 20 years, I can tell you guys, like as a team leader, okay, who joins a team? new agents and struggling agents. Okay, you allocate all this time, money, and energy to bring on these agents, onboard them, coach, train them. Okay, 2 years into this journey, they're doing 15, 20 million a year gross volume sales. You get a call like clockwork. Hey, Josh, appreciate everything that you've done for me. I wouldn't be where I'm at without you. I'm ready to go on my own to start my own team. Oh, but I'm staying with the brokerage. Oh, great. The broker continues to win. So the EXP gives the built-in ascension plan, plus again, most cases, almost the vast majority, they're going to save money. They have rev share, so they have an additional, money maker here, but they have that ascension plan. So like one of the agents I recruited 8 years ago, fresh, brand new out of school, he's a rock star. He's a stud. He outgrew me. Now today is a team of 52 doing 400 transactions a year. Well, okay, brought him over to EXP with me, right? So before, when he left my team, he was my competition. I couldn't continue to mentor him, and help him. You know, the relationship situation didn't make sense because we're also in the same market. Now here at EXP, instead of being this, we're able to be this. It builds in that built-in ascension plan. So any team leader with half a damn brain will be in a model like this, right? When I say half a damn brain, right, we also got to get ego out of the way. And, okay, so then from there, brokerage owners. So, and I'm really going after when I say this, I go after independent brokerage owners under 300 agents. The reason being is one of the first brokerages that I went after, 1,300 agents, 10 locations, California, got Leo involved. We were unable to get them over just because they needed so many special little things and they had so many special comp plans and all this bricks and mortar that they were tied to with personal guarantees on. And Leo said to me, he's like, look, we haven't really cracked the code on those big, large brokerages like that. He goes, but under 300 agents, we've done really well, but so I'm just, when people ask me, like, why 300 or less? Dude, Leo told me. Leo's the smartest dude I've ever met in real estate. So whatever Leo tells me to do, I'm going to do. But if you look at this, 90% of brokerage in the US are under 10 agents. So they're just, the vast majority are just bleeding capital left and right. So this model, and just for me coming from that world, like I just know in the brokerage world, man, like it sucks right now for the vast majority. So then from there, you think about this, like, okay, I just recruited one brokerage owner. This was about 2 months ago, but brought over 101 agents. So wasn't like that, took a whole lot more energy and effort for me than recruiting just a top producing agent that's doing 50 deals a year on their own. Takes about the same amount of energy and effort, but now I got 101 agents coming over, but this guy's also going to be a builder. His whole target goal is 10,000 agents within the next 10 years, and then I go after coaches and influencers just because, again, I ran a coaching company for 10 years. In this model, it's like, okay, when you're running a coaching company, as soon as they get to their goal, they stop coaching with you. You got to deal with chargebacks, whatever. And it's like I took so many companies, from, okay, that 5 agents, helped them build up to 85 agents. They went from, doing 20 million a year gross volume sales, now doing 300 million gross volume sales. Then they stop coaching with you. And it's like, we get nothing from that. So I'm like, hey, this is also a much more brilliant model for coaches, influencers that has that ongoing, residual component to it. So those are my 4 different avatars. Okay, then what do I do to go after them? Okay, my soldiers, I have a two-pronged strategy, right? So number 1 is my podcast, which is where I get the least amount of recruits from. There's this, I get this all the time. Well, Josh, man, you got this, podcast, you got this name in the industry. Of course, you would just be recruiting everybody. No, dude, it hasn't worked out that way. And when I first jumped into EXP, I thought all these big influencers would have these big downlines. No, the people with the biggest downlines, I never heard of their damn names. I never heard of Brent Gove or Gene Frederick or Elizabeth Riley. Those are names that nobody had ever heard of in this industry. Unless you're with EXP, nobody knows who the hell those people are. And then you look at, I'm not going to name call the big influencers that I knew that I thought were going to have the biggest downlines here, and they have very small downlines, or I guess depending.
They have a big direct line potentially where they brought in a lot of agents, but not a lot of depth beyond them.
Yeah. Yeah. And when I say small downlines, like I consider mine, even though it's, 586, still small. Right. And that's just in context to where I want to go. Right. So, okay. So I have my podcast.
Yeah.
My podcast though is focused on going after the soldiers. right? Because I know your big team leaders, your big brokerage owners aren't listening to YouTube or watching YouTube. I mean, they're on YouTube, but they're listening like Ed Milet. They're not listening to real estate related podcasts. So that content is specific to them. But I'm a hunter because I'm looking at this. So like my sponsor, Mike Sherrard, who's amazing and he's brilliant. He's the number one probably personal attractor in the company that I've seen. He's never tried to recruit anybody. He's got like 3,400 agents. They just come to him inbound, through his YouTube channel, which that's brilliant. But I also look at this. I'm like, okay, he's been here 6 years. He has 3,400 agents or whatever he has. That doesn't get me at 40,000 in 10 years. So just understanding that. Now, I'd never been a part of like a multi-level marketing company until I joined EXP. So as soon as I knew I was making this move, I started studying everything, all of Eric Worre's stuff and Brian Carruthers and listening to Eric Worre's podcast. Like I'm studying MLMs and like perfume companies. And, I'm like, okay, who are all these, massive builders of organizations of 200,000 people and 400,000 people? And, like, what's the model that they have? Well, it's all a game of duplication. So, for my example, until I recruited my first 200 agents, I did not leverage any of my warm relationships. I did not leverage my podcast. I'm like, hey, unless I can have and crack the code on very simple, easy to follow strategies that even a brand new agent can plug into that can follow these and replicate the same results. Like I can't go after and leverage, my warm audience because if I can't crack that code, I'm never going to be able to scale this to what I want to scale. So my first 200 agent recruits, I did everything 1000% cold. So 10 text messages every single day, 7 days a week to cold agent. When I say cold, I don't know who they are. They don't know who I am. And I just came up with very easy networking, cross sell, cold calling, DM, texting strategies. Now for me, I hate cold calling. Not that it doesn't work. It's not that's not effective. It is. I just hate doing it. So for me, I'd rather DM, text message. It just works really well for me. That's been kind of my workhorse is just those direct messages. And it's, very basic, let's just say, I don't know, Joe, hey Joe, this is, hey Joe, see you crushing with your real estate business in Virginia Beach. Looks like you're doing amazing things with YouTube. Congrats on all your continued success. Look, this could be a shot in the dark, but I'm looking at growing my real estate business in your area, looking for amazing driven real estate partners, to partner with. Want to see if you'd be open for a quick 30-minute Zoom call to see what a partnership would look like. And I sent out 30 of those, right? I'll get about, 10 kind of hardcore no's. The vast majority just ignore, but then I get a yes. Hey, yep, definitely interested. Just hammering those out. Again, DM, text message. Is that outreach automated? No. I know others that are doing automated outreach. For me, anybody at least in my downline that I'm working with that does this because everybody wants to just automate everything. And I'm all about efficiency, but if efficiency minimizes effectiveness, I'm not about it. So because I want to have some personalization to it, and here's the thing too, is I spend 30 minutes every day. And this just comes from, dude, you guys go read Eric Worre's GoPro and just follow the blueprint. That's all we got to do. Really, like I'm not doing anything special. I'm probably doing it the hard way, the inefficient way. I'm just, hey man, who's the best in MLM? Who's the best coach? Okay, Eric Worre, he's coach Ed Milet, he coach, all these big players. I'm like, okay, dude obviously knows what he's doing. Okay, what are the biggest takeaways that him and Brian Carruthers, talk about over and over and over? Okay, number one, you always got to be building your list. Number two, you got to create easy to follow, replicatable, duplicatable strategies that brand new, anybody that's even brand new can plug into and replicate and duplicate. So I spend about 30 minutes a day hunting for who do I want to go after. So Katie, who did you say to follow? Eric Worre, ERIC, and then I think it's WORE. He's got a great book called GoPro. It's a phenomenal book. It's quick, easy to read. I do audiobooks because my eyes, I got dry, so I hate reading books anymore. Get too tired. And I just listened to that thing. Dude, I could get through the whole thing in one workout. So I just spent 2 weeks working out. So I probably listened to that 14 times in 2 weeks until I could just regurgitate it, and then I was like, okay, let me follow this. So I spend 30 minutes a day though going after, who do I want to target? So I'm not just uploading random lists because dude, there's still a lot of agents I don't want. Doesn't mean that I won't get them because you get to a point where, you get your downline gets so large where let's just say I'm bringing on 50 agents a month now. Well, 10 of those are from me. I make sure to get my 10 FLAs every month. And how did I
Yeah.
get that KPI? Okay, my buddy Jay Kinder, you guys probably know who Jay is. Having a conversation with him. Now his peak, before he kind of went into retirement mode, now he's back at it. So I know he'll blow past this really fast because he's back full time, probably harder than ever, working 15 hours a day, but rebuilding this now. But his peak, he hit about 10,000 agents. And when I was having that conversation with him, he's like, look, I just focused on, 2 FLAs per month, 8 years straight. It compounded into this. So then I was like, all right, man, if he hit two a month, all I got to do is do 8 a month to then get to, assuming I get the
Yeah.
right people, the right FLAs, right? Then to get to my 40,000. But then
Yeah.
I was blessed to kind of have a private meeting with Brian Carruthers. And then Brian's like, hey, I focus on 10 a month. So then I was like, Brian says 10, I'll go after 10. Now I'll say 10 FLAs a month, which I've been hitting now consistently for about the last year. I mean, that's me grinding at this like 50, 60 hours a week, because not only do I have to hit my FLAs, I got to do, I do a lot of the recruiting for my, downline, 3-way calls. I mean, I probably have six to seven 3-way calls a day. And then I'll usually have about two for my own efforts for going after my FLAs a day, 1 to 2 for my own efforts. So, you know, um, it's a lot of work to get that. But it's a good challenge for me. So okay, I'm cold texting, cold DMing, for those. Now, when it comes to your team leaders, your broker owners, I found that doesn't work. So what I'm doing there is just setting up, it's a little bit more of a long-term relationship based. So I just reach out as a mastermind. Hey, whatever their name is, see you running a amazing team there in Nashville, Tennessee. Congrats on all your continued success. Not sure if you're open to this or not, but if you are, I'd love to schedule a 60-minute Zoom mastermind call. Just a little bit of context on me. I run a real estate team in Arizona, sold over 7,000 homes, built the 30 top team in the country. I'm an open book, willing to share anything and everything that's ever worked for me. We're not competing markets. I think we can learn a lot from each other. Would you be down for a mastermind? Now, I don't bring up EXP. We go in, we jump in a mastermind. I just do everything I can to bring way more value to that mastermind than they bring. So then now I'm depositing that value into them, developing that relationship. And then once appropriate, and that usually is, a few weeks maybe after the mastermind, once we had a few other, interactions together of like, look, hey, no, you got an amazing thing going on currently. But man, I think we could do some amazing things if we would partner together. Would you be down for just a quick 30, 60-minute Zoom call just to discuss, what I think a partnership could look like, and see what we might be able to do together. And it ends up not being for you, dude. You're not going to hurt my feelings if it's a no, but I just think it's worth our time to just explore this and see what we could possibly do together.
Right. Right. Now, your goal, 40,000, and then getting, what did you say, 40 generals?
Yep.
So your goal to get 40 generals, how are you identifying who might be that general, and how are you grooming them to help them create their goals?
Yeah, it's really challenging, because surely all of you have experienced, it's like just like bringing on agents, like in my team or brokers, everybody comes in and talks a big game. Oh, I want this. Well, then quickly you find out that words are hollow, actions show what people truly want. Can't tell you even on this journey how many people I'm committed to doing whatever it takes to become an alpha so I get 50,000 a month of residual income coming in through rev share. Josh, I'll do whatever you tell me to do. So we break down the plan, spend hours walking through it, give them the whole strategy. They don't do a damn thing with it. So, okay, one of the ways that I've grown my real estate team, one of our primary lead source throughout most of my career was open houses. We just slayed it with open houses. So one of the ways I'd go recruit is I would go visit agents' open houses, even though they suck at them, they don't know how to do them, they don't know how to set up at them, they're not getting results with them. That I don't care about that. They just haven't learned the strategy yet. The fact that they're doing the open house, right, that already shows me that they're willing to do the work. Now they just need the guidance, the roadmap. So I'd recruit agents out of open houses, just like, okay, like I hear, we're actually just having this conversation on my weekly, I do a weekly mastermind just around agent attraction rev share, for all of our agents that do want to build. And, we're having a conversation about, hey, everybody that ever tries to recruit you, take that damn call, right? Because this is somebody out there already doing the work. And then just have that arrangement with them. Hey, yes, I will sit down. I'll be open-minded. I will listen to your pitch on one condition. When you're done going through that, then you have to sit down and listen through my opportunity and my pitch about you partnering with me. And if you convince me that you got a better model than I have, cool. I'll partner with you then. But then if you're open minded, I convince you that I have a better model than you have. I just ask the same open mindedness and the same consideration. Is that fair? So like I'm trying to recruit the recruiters. It's like in my local market when somebody come like selling solar panels, come to Phoenix, Arizona, so we get solar sales guys all the time knocking on my door. Yeah, pitch me, dude. I want to learn from you. But then, based on how they do with the pitch, hey man, you sure that this is the best vehicle for you? Have you ever considered selling real estate? Way bigger ticket price, way more opportunities, right? Like recruit the recruiters, right? So I look for evidence, so okay, if they've already been recruiting through building a team, they've already been recruiting from, building a brokerage. Okay, there's probably some evidence there that they, want to recruit, with that. I don't know if there is a way to fully crack the code on this. I think part of this, at least from my experience, has been it's a timing thing. So what I have found is so far, because it doesn't matter, at least from what I'm finding, it doesn't matter if they're an individual agent, team leader, broker owner. It's more of a stage of life. Kind of like me, right? When I joined EXP, I was 43 years old. I'm 44 now. Been at this game for a long time. It's, done okay. It's done well for me, but I just get to that realization that, hey, this treadmill that I'm on isn't going to get me to the path I want to go, and just starting doing some deep reflections. Like if I'm being totally honest, and this is what kind of the reflection I went through that led me to EXP. I'm like, man, I get my kids, I got a 17-year-old, 16-year-old, 13-year-old. I'm like, did I do all the things with them, take all the vacations, spend all the time with them I truly wanted to? No. I spent a lot of time, but not, I kind of semi messed that up. Well, I got a second opportunity here. I still got some more opportunity while they're not, old yet, but but then, hey, I'm like, I got an opportunity with this next phase of life, once they get married, have grandkids, to have true freedom, fund all the family vacations, do all the traveling, I'm like, I'm not gonna screw this up twice. So what I found, like those in their 40s, 50s, 60s that have been doing this for decade, 2 decades, that have had good success, but again are realizing that, hey, this vehicle that I'm on isn't getting me where I want to go. So an example, one of my builders right now, he has a brokerage of 9 agents, or had a brokerage of 9 agents for partnering with us. He just recently partnered with us. He's 52 years old, having a conversation with him about retirement. And he goes, hey, I got 10 years left in me before I want to be done. I'm like, okay, well, what do you want to do when you're done? Well, I want to go travel, do this, this, this. Okay, how much money do you need, monthly to go out there and do those things? I need 25 grand a month. Okay, well, have you met with your financial advisor and to see how much more money that you need in the stock market, the equity market, whatever that, vehicle is for you to get you there? He's like, yeah, man. He goes, I need another 5 mil. I'm like, well, how much do you have in there now? He's like, 2. And I'm like, okay, what do you think the probability is over the next 10 years you can raise that 5 million? He goes, dude, I haven't been able to do it in 52 years. I don't know how I'm going to do it. And I was like, all right, man, if you're open to it, I got a vehicle where I can get you there much quicker than that. I'm like, in 12 months, dude, I got to 25 G's a month for $0. The only expense I have is a Zoom account. I have not spent 1 cent here, right? That's why I'm so obsessed with RevShare. I don't know a vehicle where you can essentially get 5 million of free and clear capital of investment that pays you that residual. It's like one of my good friends, Curtis Johnson, that I've known for about 20 years, that's at this company. I was doing the math with his rev share. Take 90 million in free and clear 90 million in the stock market or free and clear real estate to pay him what his rev share is paying him every single month right now. He hasn't spent any money on this. He's invested some time, built it very strategically. Like, what other vehicle does this for us? What other vehicle can, because how many of us have enough money set aside to go invest into any asset class to start to make it worthwhile to pay us back that money? Like, very few in this industry. But you can, I don't care how much debt you're in or how bad your position is, like you can turn things around so fast with rev share. So I think it's probably more of just the stage of life that they're in, you know. Because it's like, like, okay, I was talking with Brent Gove. I had him come on and do like a hour and 40-minute session with my future generals, right? And he was like, hey,
Yeah.
I just went after, producing agents, but they had to love rev share. But then I'm talking with Elizabeth Riley, and she's like, when she joined this company, she's like, I could care less about rev share. She goes, the stock intrigued the shit out of me. But then look at her now, 10,000 agents in her downline. Now rev shares are really exciting to her now, but she wasn't somebody that came into this company thinking that anything about rev share. She was just like, I want this stock. She's done extremely well on both. And then
Right.
from there, look, I do everything I can to pour into them. So we do a weekly 2-hour mastermind. Now, as far as my one-on-one time, I'll do one initial, 1 to 2 hour, just full strategy session because we can reverse engineer. You want to get to this number by this timeline. Okay, here's the amount of agents that you're going to need. Here's how we're going to need your downline structured. Here's the daily KPIs based on your strategy that we got to be hitting. I'm a numbers freak, so I track everything pretty intensely for all of this stuff. So, but then from there, I got to let them show me. One of my mentors, Darren Hardy, he's always like, hey, as leaders, hey, we tell our people like, you do your half, I'll do my half. Well, the issue is if we do our half first, like most of them never do their half. So make sure that they do their half first before you do your half. It's kind of like, if the Coast Guard is going out there to save people in a shipwreck, but you can't save everybody. Like, who do you save first? Who do you prioritize? Probably the people swimming to the rescue boat, not the people swimming away from it. So I'm looking, okay, like, what are your actions? What are you doing? Like, you tell me that you want this, but if you're not taking the actions, so it's like, okay, like, turning your numbers to me, let me see that you're doing this. I don't care if they're getting results or not. Like, I've got a lady in Dubai. So I recruit over one of the top coaches in Dubai because we see that as a massive opportunity. But man, she's doing, 50 LinkedIn messages every single day. She's setting 4 3-way calls every single day. Now, Dubai, because of the conflict with the war, plus within Dubai, we have to supply ZXP, we have to supply the visas. So we can only bring on like 50 agents a year in that market as far as a company. So there's much more restrictions, not like we have in North America, So yeah, we've only, in the I think the 2 months she's been with me, yeah, I think we have like 6 recruits together. It's not a lot, but she's doing the work every single day. So I know she's going to be a rock star. So I'm
Right.
looking for, okay, what is the work that they're doing? Like I'll match my commitment based on their own commitment to their own success.
Yeah.
And then from there, as far as a couple of the things here, is okay, I try to make it as easy as on them as possible. Because with this whole 88% agents don't care about rev share, that's not been my experience. 88%, like they care about it. The ones that don't focus on it, they're just intimidated, they're
Right.
scared, they don't know how to do it. So I
Right.
just walked in, hey, I'm going to make this as easy as possible. I'm just going to give you very easy scripts that are kind of passive. So okay, you're at a networking event, you meet an agent that you connect with. Just go in with something like this. Hey, I know you're probably really happy where you're currently at, but if you're open to it, because I think you do amazing things over here at our brokerage and our organization. Again, if you're open to it, I'd love to just do a quick introduction to you and my mentor, Joshua Smith, where the two of you can come jump on a quick 30-minute Zoom call. Just so you know, he's got a very strict no pressure policy. So you're not going to be recruited, push pressure, none of that. He's just going to walk you through everything that we do, how we work, how we operate, all the additional coaching, training, support systems that we provide to help ensure you accomplish your goals. Answer any questions that you have and look at the end of that call. If you think it's a fit for you, great. And if not, that's okay too. I just think it'd be well worth your time to just jump on a quick 30-minute Zoom call with them. Is that something you'd be willing to do? I'm like, then all you got to do is do a 3-way text. Hey, Josh, meet Sarah. Sarah's interested in partnering with us at EXP. Want to do an intro so you guys could schedule a meeting. Oh, thanks so much. So and so, so nice to meet you, Sarah. Here's my personal Zoom scheduling link so you can schedule any date time that works. Like I'm able to track it. Like I'll do the recruiting. We don't even need to do 3-way calls. Like I'll jump on it. I'll recruit them, right? Like I'll park them under you. You get paid. I get paid. We all get paid. My own onboarding manager, onboarding team will onboard them. We coach them. We train them. Like you don't have to do anything. Just do the intros, So trying to make it very simplistic with them on that, and giving them those strategies and supporting them in every way I can.
And how do you coach them through those first few? They create a list of 10, they make 10 calls, they get a lot of no's. How do you coach them through getting to the yeses?
Yeah, well, a lot of this is just keeping the math, keeping the numbers. So, like I tell them, hey guys, For the 30 reach outs that I do, I only get one yes. And that's to book a call. Then from there, from call show, now I've had to learn this from the coaching side, but I've got like a 97.3% call book to show rate. So have a so once they say yes, they're pretty much showing up for that call. But then from there, I have a 37% call conduction to recruit rate. So, like it's kind of like, okay, if somebody wants to go after Facebook pay-per-click ads, okay, man, if you're good, you're going to convert at 1%. Now, if you're great, you're going to convert at 2%. Now, if you're world-class exceptional, you're going to recruit at 3%. So that means if you're world-class exceptional, 97 out of 100 people are going to tell you to piss off, no, to go after yourself, whatever people say. You guys, we all on this game, right? We are in the game of rejection. It's just how it goes, so I like to gamify. I like to track it. So every time I get a no, I'm closer to yes. I would do this with my team all the time. I'd walk in there. I'm like, okay, pull out $100 bill. I'm going to give you this $100 bill. Whoever raises their hand, I'm going to give this to you. But you got to let me first tell you to F off to your face before I give you this $100 bill. And they would all joke and laugh like, I'll take that. I'm like, well, why don't you apply that same thing to this piece of plastic with these strangers that do not care about you, do not care about your family? Like if something happens, you can't pay. They don't care. It's not that human beings are bad. It's just that we are all so busy, caught up in our own stuff. We all got our own problems. I used to have massive reluctance to this stuff, like call reluctance, fear of rejection. And then one day, my mentor, Darren Hardy, shared with me a study in Newsweek. And for whatever reason, it just hit home with me. And it was about the average funeral in the United States. So the average funeral has 100 people that attend. And that's if the weather's nice. If it's raining, you only have about 50% of that. Then from there, at the average funeral, there's only 6 people that shed a tear. So I'm like, why am I making decisions in my real estate business and in my life for all these human beings that would never, ever even take the time to show up for my funeral? And if they did, they wouldn't shed a tear. But I identified, hey, who are the people I know would be devastated? My wife, my kids. Why am I not living my life for them? And I care about all these opinions of others. Because like I would create a video and, people, I get like, I don't know, I always got these people making fun of like all my forehead lines, telling me I need to get Botox and, not hating on me because of the way I talk. I don't, I'm a college dropout. I got a low IQ. I don't have a big vocabulary, but it would make me not want to create content because of these keyboard warriors that would hate on me. But I'm like, why? Why do I care about their opinions why would I not take the actions for the people that truly matter to me in my life? So I look at this of just, look, dude, like this one call could change my life, could change that person that I'm on the phone with life or change my life. Now, if I got to go through 100 people, give me, no's, tell me that, cool. Like their opinions are irrelevant to me at this point, because I'm living for, like, I know what I want, why I want, I know who I'm doing it for, and then just, it's kind of a everything to gain, nothing to lose, scenario. If we really break this down and just, logically and kind of get out of our heads with this stuff.
Yeah. Great, great feedback and content. Let me get to a few of the questions that are in the chat here.
Yeah.
Katya is asking about how you recruit outside of the United States. What does that look like for you?
Yeah. So, okay, first you got to be, so I wasted about 6 months on this. Meaning that I didn't know what I didn't know. I just, Leo told me to go international, so I'm just going international. So be strategic with it. Like, okay, what are the regulated countries that there's a good, like, interview the country leader. There are and I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus. And I know, EXP, like, you go through growing pains, but there are some country leaders where we're so, I don't want to say spoiled, but it's so dialed in where we're so blessed to have such great leaders in the US, Canada. It's like Nadia Habib in Canada, man. Anytime I need something, even if it's 10, 11 o'clock at night, she is on it within seconds. And same with like Robin and Amy. And, it just blows my mind. But then, okay, I've ran these other country leaders where, I don't always know the ins and outs until I start working that country for some time. So I might need a 3-way call with the country leader and the potential recruit. Well, if I can't get the country leader to even respond for 3 weeks, time kills deals. Yeah, right. And then when you're telling these potential recruits, oh, we have world-class support, but then we can't even get support for 3 weeks, like, okay, it creates some instant, it's a negative experience before they even, go through the experience. You know, and then think so, okay, like what leadership team is there that's going to be able to support you? So I'm, interviewing on that. Um, then from there, where's their opportunity? Like, where's the biggest opportunity at? So, okay, I'll just give an example with Dubai. Now, one of the things I didn't know with Dubai until we started going hard at Dubai was the whole visa issue. But I'm looking at Dubai. Now, we can recruit not just Dubai, all of UAE, but Dubai is kind of the, juggernaut. I mean, that's pretty much what UAE is. So you got 5 million population. You got 40,000 licensees, about another 30,000 because you can be unlicensed and sell off plan, which is what they call new construction there. The biggest brokerage in all of Dubai is 550 agents, so nobody's got mass market share. And the average brokerage split is 50-50, and they don't provide a damn thing. Like no bad training, bad support. So I'm like, oh man, this is like we're just gonna go in there and clean house. I'm like, we're gonna get to 2,000 agents in Dubai within 2 years, and now again, didn't know about the whole visa issue because the visas. So in Dubai, when you're employed by the brokerage, the brokerage has to supply the employment visa because nobody's from Dubai, right? Well, your visa allocation is determined by the government. So we can only get so many visas per year. And in Dubai, like per agent, you have to have 9 square feet of office space. And with, EXP for the most part being a virtual broker, like, okay, but hey, we just got to know the game. My whole thing is like, know the game I'm playing. So then let me know the game, give me the directions, give me the instructions so I can come up with the best strategy to play the game. So then from there in Dubai, because I mean, price points are so high, and that's where all, I mean, so much of the wealth from the globe is moving there because they're the most tax friendly and safest city in the country for, the well, for everybody, but for the wealthy for sure. So then it's like, okay, we've just gotten very strict on, okay, if we can only bring on, let's just call it 4, maybe 5 agent partners a month. Okay, we got to make sure we're bringing on absolute savage badasses. So but then, okay, so that like making sure you have the right leadership support, the opportunities there. Then from there, okay, you need a running partner. Now, like in Dubai, okay, I was able to recruit in one of the top coaches. Now, this was a lady, 20, she's 27 now, but she just moved from India to Dubai a few years ago, jumped into real estate, just started killing it. She did like $250 million worth of real estate in her first couple of years, built a big name for herself. Everybody started wanting her to coach, became an influencer, started coaching. Okay, so I partnered with the right person, that can be my running partner that knows Dubai real estate. So find a running partner that you can spearhead that with. Now, I'm not going to recruit anybody in Dubai. Like I'm trying to go recruit, but anybody that we ever bring in Dubai all goes under Jasmine. Yeah, right. Like I'm trying to help her build there. Now, here with co-sponsorship, you don't need to recruit them anymore. Co-sponsorship is like the most brilliant brilliant move I think EXP's ever made, other than Glenn just having the vision for the model itself. If you guys aren't leveraging co-sponsorship, and the reason why I started going hard on co-sponsorship is I was like, look, it's just going to take my time to develop my generals, because I'm like, spent this last year where I'm like, all of this still feels like it's on my shoulders. Like I'm the one, and I'm like, man, I need to grow faster. I need more running partners. Now, as it's taking time to develop my generals, and I'm, like my number one agent now is like 226 agents under, so I have some running partners that are starting to develop, but I'm like, let me leverage co-sponsorship, and it is brilliant. So I make sure on my calendar every day I have one Zoom call booked with another agent at EXP outside my organization, to have a conversation about rev share, building together. What I look at is I just go to the builder and leader list. If you have 10 agents in your downline, or at least 5, like you've shown me that you want to recruit or put some intentional focus in this, you probably just don't know how to crack the code yet. Let's partner together. Let's grow this up just like you were in my downline, like, do all the same things. Let's build this up together. And like I said, I'm pretty confident the run rate I'm experiencing right now, by the end of this year, my co-sponsored line will outpace my regular line.
Yes. Now, another question back here in the chat. How do you go find those 30 folks that you're going to be messaging or texting each day? Do you have a tool that you use for that?
Google.
Okay, Google.
Yeah, and I just go because I'm, top real estate agents in Jacksonville, Florida, top real estate agents in Tampa, Florida. So I go into the bigger states, where there's bigger metros. Mistake that I made initially, I was like, okay, let me go into the least populated, like where EXP has the least market share, like Mississippi, Louisiana. Man, I had so
Right.
much resistance there. EXP, who? What do you mean you're virtual? What do
Yeah.
you like? I was like, okay, that was the wrong plan, right? So I go after your bigger states. Like I'm not, targeting Rhode Island as an example, like your bigger states, bigger metros. But I just go Google, top real estate agents in because I want to look at, what brokerage that they're with, um, what their production is, what their experience is. Now we don't get their full production. We have to make a guesstimate to that, but again, I have some running partners of mine that go after brand new agents, and that's their comfort zone, that's their wheelhouse. But like I tell them, I'm like, hey, I'm not saying it's the wrong strategy, but what I'm telling you is 90% of new agents fail in their first 3 years. It's got to be 9 months on average till you pop a transaction. And it's not like EXP has some magic pill to solve that problem. It's just because the vast majority of get in this industry get into it for the wrong reasons. Nobody can crack that code. So you're gonna have to recruit 10 times the amount of agents to get the same
Right.
experience. You know, um, so for me, I don't want it for like my FLAs for the hunting I'm doing. I don't want to go after new agents.
Right.
So yeah, I'm very strict on kind of who I'm going after that. I think that this would be a great agent to partner with.
And Joshua, it has been truly an amazing blessing to hear your heart, to get a feel for who you are. Co-sponsorship is absolutely in the game for all of us. I want to thank you. Is there any one thing you want to leave with our team?
Yeah, I would just say, look, this is extremely hard. Now, none of this is okay. Easy, simple doesn't mean easy. All of this is simple. It's just not easy. You know, um, so it is probably been one of the hardest things I've done. It's been much more difficult than I thought. I thought for sure I'd have 1,000 agents my first 12 months, and but it's worth it, right? And then the hard part about it is, okay, I got to repeat myself 10 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's just every day's groundhog day. It's a pushing through the boredom, right? Like I said, none of this is, I'm sitting in my AC, I got cold water, so it's difficult, you know, but it's so worth it. I've never seen a vehicle like this. And you guys, I've been involved in, many different businesses, I've never seen anything like this. We've been so blessed to be a part of a company that has such a great vehicle for us. I would just say make it, be intentional, focus on it because I've never seen such a game-changing, life-changing opportunity, but you have to be focused on it. And even if that's 7 hours a week, you could do damage with 7 hours a week, but you got to block it off. You got to schedule, you got to be intentional with it, but just go after it and do it because your future self will not regret it.
Thank you so very much. Would you like a copy of this recording?
Sure, that'd be great.
Awesome. I will get it off to you. We truly appreciate your time today. So thank you.
Yeah, it's been
And
an
you
honor. Thank you guys.
take care. Thank you all for being on.